It's fizzy bit.
What up? Welcome back to another episode of SitM Podcast. I am your host, Sir Charles, aka Capo. I got a good guest with me in the building. I'm actually excited about this one. But before we get into her and all her goodness, make sure you visit www.sitmpodcast.com to shop your exclusive merch. Yo, this is our 5-year anniversary. I don't know how many times I have to stress this. We've been doing this for 5 years.
Oh my God, it's been that long.
It's 5 years. 5 years. So, in order to make sure we have a successful event, we need you to go to www.sitmpodcast.com, shop that exclusive merch. Make sure you buy as much as you can because that is the fuel that's going to drive our events, and not only our events, but this machine we call Stuck in the Middle. But more event details to come later. Back to my wonderful, wonderful guest. I got the great
Oh my gosh.
Akanji in the building. What up, Akanji? What's up?
Hi. It's such an honor to be here. What, 5 years?
5 years.
That's crazy.
But you're not new to Stuck in the Middle.
I am not. That's why I'm surprised. I saw my autograph from the last time I was here, and I thought, wow, it's been a couple of years. It's been a minute.
3, 4?
Yeah.
You was here in the beginning stages, right?
Yeah. So I was here first with Legacy as a group, and then I came by myself. And then I think I came again with Jason to talk about Of One Blood. And now I'm here again as an individual.
Because we're going to talk about only Akanji. I know before you were repping major things. So first and foremost, for the people that don't know you and are not familiar, who is Akanji?
So hi everyone. My name is Akanji. Some people know me as Gabriella. Some people know me as Tangwa. So depending on where we met in my life, in the US at least, you will identify me by a different name, which is fine. I'd be confused sometimes myself. But so I sing. Right now, primarily, I talk. And when I say talk, I mean I have conversations with people. I do interviews. And yeah, that's essentially it. I do some writing, some poetry, some singing. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, if you will.
Like a Swiss Army knife.
But the sad part is I don't know if it's sad, but I'm not focused on just one thing. At least not to the degree that I would like to be. So, but we're about to uncover all of that today.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, how I know you, right? I know you on a more personal level. Doing some work with VMG.
Yeah.
Working with those different artists. I've been a big fan of you for a while. You got a few songs in the can that I'm not gonna talk about.
I do.
But we'll get into all of that. I think the first things first is, a lot of people know you as as an overall summary, just as a major content creator, right? You shared that. You've done music, you've written poetry, you've got your own podcast. What is it about content creating that fascinates you the most? What draws you to it?
Storytelling.
Okay.
I'm one who has always been fascinated by stories. I think I always said this to people. I say, if I could have one superpower, it would be to know every person's story from an individual, on a individual level, and be able to relate to them in that way. Because I feel like when you meet day to day people, ever think about when you get on a bus or on a train or anywhere public and you watch people go by, they're carrying with them so much that you will never find out. And for me, it's fascinating to think what we all have within us to share, just in terms of experiences or just what life has offered us over the years. So I'm just fascinated by stories, and I want to talk to as many people as possible so I can learn as much of their stories as possible.
That's absolutely amazing. That's the one thing about this world, right? Everyone has their own origin story, for example, right? Your walk of life is a lot different from my walk of life.
Absolutely.
And the things that you go through is, fascinating, and you can experience that within the music. So
yeah,
how did you actually get into, what was it first? Was it music? What came first?
That's a very good question. I was probably about 6 or 7 or 8 when I realized that I wanted to sing. I didn't know that I had any talent. I just, for some reason, it spoke to me. In primary school, I was in the choir. This is some of the earliest memories I have of music. So in that respect, we could say that it was music. But honestly, before I discovered that, I could sing, And
amazing.
Honestly, it's fascinating to me that I can actually say that out loud. I never used to. When people would tell me that I can sing, I'd be like, "What? Really? Me? Who?" Like, you know. So for me to say that is a whole milestone. But anyway, before I realized that I could sing, I always found myself drawn to words. I would read a lot. I used to read a lot. But my mom used to. Over the weekends, you know how like African moms were cooking a lot.
Yeah.
She used to drag me to the kitchen to cook, and I would be like buried away in a book somewhere. And whenever my dad was around, because he used to travel a lot, he would, you know, I would get away with just hiding in a book somewhere and reading for like 10 hours straight. But I used to read a lot, so I always knew that stories and words, I was drawn to those things. And when I did start, maybe investing a little bit more in my music, that to me was what anchored me to it, is writing. So when I sing music, for me, it's less about the melody. It's more about the message. It's more about what I'm saying and how I'm writing it. And it has to be poetic. If you listen to any of my music that I wrote, it sounds like a poem. If you just read the lyrics as they are, it's because a lot of my songs are actually out of poems that I wrote. Now, there's not a lot of songs, so we can talk about that. But for me, it was words, and then the music followed.
What I love about this conversation is that it divvies away from the questions I actually wrote, because I have so many more questions. But let's before I get into that question, I gotta write it down. So you had a relationship with Legacy House, right? Or you still have a connecting relationship with Legacy House. So like me, that's coming in, I'm familiar, but I'm not all the way familiar. So when did you, I guess, establish that relationship with Legacy, and how did it evolve? And then how did we get here essentially?
Yeah. So I was in college. I met Jason, who has been on the show many times before.
Big
writer, poet. He's a creative,
extraordinaire.
Yes,
talented
absolutely.
Individual.
Absolutely. And so we took an English class together.
Okay.
And
didn't know you guys went to school together.
We did go to University of Maryland, College Park, Terp Life. We here for it.
You smart.
Well, you know what I'm saying. But so we went to college together, and then we took a class, and then that's when he started talking to me about what he was doing, and he was one of the founding members of Legacy House Incorporated. He told me what they were doing. I watched a couple of clips online. It was, at the time, the main focus was comedy, and so they're doing a lot of short skits, but the big vision was, and it still is, to create something that propagates Cameroonian African art as a whole, be it through comedy or music or poetry, like Jason was doing. I mean, I remember when Have You Ever Seen an African Dance came out. That was just phenomenal. We had, in the African community, I can say safely, had not seen anything like that yet. So that was kind of my introduction. So I started, going to the meetings. And so anyway, without going into too much detail, a lot has happened since then. There's been a lot of projects. Of One Blood is one of them. There's just a lot going on that has happened. And then where we are right now is we're almost on a individual, right? So we're still a collective, but we're each focusing on different parts. So while Jason is kind of doing a lot of filmmaking, a lot of writing, Naya is doing a lot of music, and then I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing podcasts and stuff, but we still kind of come together. And the biggest thing that we're doing as a collective right now is Penthouse Live, and that's happening on a almost quarterly basis. So we're trying to make it more regular, but that's really the goal. And Penthouse Live essentially is a jam session, intimate jam session. It's happening right now at the Penthouse in IO Spaces in Silver Spring. And so it's really a great opportunity to come and watch African artists just do their thing, live music, live band, just a really genuinely good time. Anybody who's been to a Penthouse Live session knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've actually, I'm also somebody that works with Naya. I work with many of the artists that she also works with as well. So I've been able to attend one of those live sessions, and it's very interesting. I know Leslie over at IO Spaces is doing an amazing job.
I was just about to say shout out to IO Spaces and Leslie. Like, it's incredible what the work that goes into putting a show like that together, and the outcome has just been phenomenal. Even the response when you go on the show and we get a chance to talk to the artist at the end of it, it's just like phenomenal feedback.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I want to divvy away a little bit, right? I want to talk about your personal life, right?
Okay.
So last year, right? Yes. You recently, I don't want to say, you got married.
I got married in 2020, actually.
2020. Oh, so it's been 2 years.
Well, almost. November is going to be 2 years.
So when did you get engaged? initially?
August of 2020.
And then you had the traditional wedding. So you haven't had the white wedding, but you've had the traditional. Okay.
So I haven't had the white wedding, which will come sometime in the future. I know. But I have had a traditional marriage. And we've been married a year and a couple of months now.
No, I know that love is strong. You know, that's
very rare. It has to be.
guy.
I mean, I'm about to spend the rest of my life with this person.
I know. One of the things that fascinated me, right, was, you know, Flex also got married as well. So I believe you got married before he did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I didn't attend your traditional wedding, but what I noticed was that in Cameroonian culture, the traditional wedding is a little bit different from other cultures, right? And it's so fascinating. Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed initially was, I guess you all wear, I don't even know
the garb.
The garb. I don't even know where to even start describing
Togu and what's the other one called? I forgot what the Bamileke one is called.
So it's like
we call it in my dialect in Chen.
So those are specific prints towards your tribe. Okay.
So I'm Bangwa. If anybody knows Libialem division, that's where I'm from.
You're talking to the wrong guy about
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But so Southwest region. I'm sure you know that part at least.
I do.
Wait, are you not Cameroonian?
No, you never knew I was not.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I know I hang around a lot of Cameroonians.
Wait, where are you from?
I'm from Sierra Leone.
No way.
I am
legit shook right now.
All the years that you know me, you just see me around a whole bunch of Cameroonians. You're like,
I just assumed.
Must be Cameroonian.
I
he eats Cameroonian food. He does the. No, I'm Sierra Leone.
Oh wow. Okay, well that's good to know. I was like, how does he not know Southwest? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Anything.
Okay, well.
All I know is Ero, Achu, Kati. That's as far as Cameroonian culture I get.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take the appreciation of our food. We do have a lot of good food in Cameroon, that's for sure. Don't have is the truth.
Achu.
What? Okay.
Kati.
Wait, hold up. What food in Sierra Leone? Does anybody else know that's not from Sierra Leone?
That's not from Sierra Leone? Like the only food?
No. Like what other food? Like give me a food from Sierra Leone.
Outside of cassava leaf and potato leaves? Those two?
Oh.
Yes.
Who eats cassava leaves?
Everybody.
What do you make with it? Like a soup?
It's cassava. So you take cassava leaf, right? You use, depending on the oil, you can use palm oil, you can use coconut milk. It's just a bunch of different various ways to make it. But my
coconut milk and cassava leaf sounds interesting.
Yes, I'm a coconut milk cassava leaf kind of guy.
Okay. And what do you eat it with? Fufu?
I'm a rice baby.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Honestly.
I will even eat arrow with rice.
You sound like my husband.
That's he why eats arrow with rice. Oh see, finally a Cameroonian that eats arrow with rice.
Okay. Maybe that's taking it too far. Okay, he does eat a lot of rice, and if he didn't have fufu, he would eat arrow and rice. He has never, since we've been together, but I know it's something that he would do because this man can eat rice and everything.
I love rice.
He can eat rice literally everything under the sun.
Rice has to be in my diet at least 4 times out of the week.
Yeah, that's excessive.
Is it?
Too much. Too much rice. Too much rice.
Wait. We're divvying off. We
can talk about his food.
Back to the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you know he was going to propose to you, or were you expecting, like, was it anything close to what you expected it to be? Was it
okay, so we've been talking. We did date.
You were together. Not talking.
No. I was gonna land. We had been talking about getting married. Okay. Right. We were starting to have those discussions because when you are in a relationship, it naturally kind of progresses in that direction. Especially if you consider that person somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So those conversations were happening. I was aware the day he bought the ring. He told me. He was so excited he couldn't not tell me that he bought it.
Bro,
I didn't see it. I know.
I'm not gonna tell somebody.
No. I was
just to let you know. Hey, boo, what's up? How was your day?
Legit.
It was cool.
You're doing it like
what
a joke.
What did you do? I just went and bought you a ring.
Yes.
Huh?
Like that's legit how it happened.
So he told you.
He called me and then he picked. So he had to go do something. He went to shop for the ring with his sister.
Okay.
And then he came when he was coming back. In the car driving to his house because he was living to where he was living at the time. He called me on the phone and he was like, "Guess what I just did?" I was like, "Oh, what did you do?" And he told me that he legit just came from the buying a ring with me.
Oh, so he knew you was gonna say yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, you have these conversations. I'm sure if you talk to Flex will tell you, like.
Nah, I was there on Flex's wedding. Flex was shaking out of his boots.
Well, I mean, that's not to say he wasn't nervous.
No, you could be nervous. That's what I'm saying, right? Because there's not a legit, but like in that small corner in your mind.
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
Think, as a man, you like.
As a man and as a woman, you're thinking. I mean, it's the rest of your life. It's not like you can just get up tomorrow and be like, I'm done with the situation. You can't.
People do that every day.
This is it. You said it. This is what's going to happen. So there is, a certain level of apprehension that you could have, but it's all about like the balance, right? If your apprehension outweighs your excitement for the future, it should be there because it's natural, but it shouldn't outweigh any of the other emotions, like, just your excitement for the future, your security in a relationship, your certainty of the love that you share with this person. All of those things should be front and center. If you're feeling apprehensive more than you're feeling these other things, then maybe you need to, put some question marks.
Yeah. No, I understand that, right? And that's what I try to tell a lot of guys, right? Sometimes when you're in a relationship, you can think that everything is going well, right? You can think that, it's all of that. And sometimes those questions may not come until you're actually in the process of doing that. Yeah. So I implore a lot of gentlemen to just think about it first before you go buy the ring. But absolutely. I know, knowing him, knowing you, knowing your relationship, it was no question.
Yeah. I mean, I was very certain. But again, like I said, that you do think about like, oh my God, this is the rest of my life. It's not about, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? It's more about like, do we have enough love, right, to withstand all of the things? Because life is life. The roses will bloom for as long as they bloom. But at some point, things will seem like they're wilting. Okay. Even if they're not, you will feel like that's what's happening. And you have to be equipped to deal with those types of, experiences. So, but yeah, happiest day of my life. Absolutely. I was like floored. I burst out.
The proposal or the wedding?
Yo, both of them. But the proposal was the first kind of big moment. I walked in the room. You know how you said a place, and there's supposed to be like a backdrop? I didn't make it to the backdrop. I literally got caught at the door and I just started crying. I was bawling like the ugly cry too. Like it was.
Damn, I hope something. To make somebody special, like somebody feel that way.
The funny thing is, I knew he was gonna propose. Not that day. I was very shocked that day, but I knew it was gonna happen because, like I said, he told me he bought the ring. But it was just like something about the finality of it. Just
you know what I want? I need to ask a guy this. Like, how do you buy? Do you know the ring size? Like when you buy it, like do you just guess the ring size?
Like I said, we talked about it. I don't know. Maybe me and my husband just communicate a lot. We talked about it. I legit.
Flex, did you know the ring size? Yeah, you gotta ask him. Damn, I'm slacking.
You have to. I used to work at Charm TV in Baltimore City, and one day I was in my office. And I legit went on Google and I said how to figure out your ring size. And there's on Google, if you Google it, you can they tell you how to do. You take a ruler, you measure, like you count. You know how the ruler has the marks. So you take a piece of paper and you mark the markings and you write the millimeters or whatever. And then you cut off that paper and you put it around your finger. And then whatever the centimeters is that you get is what corresponds to. They have like a chart where you can tell.
Hey, this is too much science for me.
I'm telling. Look, I was very confused. It was too much maths. Quick maths. The maths was not too quick.
So I guess so you didn't plan, or did you plan the traditional wedding yourself?
Oh yeah.
That was all you and family, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I always wondered, the last thing, right? Because in Sierra Leone, I know we have traditional weddings, right? But I've honestly speaking, I'm not married, haven't really been to those ceremonies, so I'm not really familiar. But you know what I wonder, right? So you know how you all bring out like the different women, I think that happens everywhere. Yeah. What if he picks the wrong one? Like what? Like
that's a very good question.
Like what happens?
So I haven't been in a wedding ceremony where that happened. My guess is you just, because the whole purpose of doing that is part of the dowry process, right? So they're covering up these different girls so you can choose, because they want to bring you the wrong girl so you can say no, and then they'll say, well, since you said no to this one, we need transport to go back. So in the event that you do pick someone who is not your intended, you just got to pay a lot more money.
Jesus Christ.
For them to take her back. Because when you unveil, it's not going to be like, oh, wait, that's not who I was hoping for, right?
I'm scared.
And so they're like, we can't take her back. If you want us to take her back, you got to. That's my thought on it.
Whoever is responsible for my process, look me in my eyes. You better bring me the right one.
So, Charles, let me tell you the truth. These things are all talked about, okay? You cannot go... I told my husband what my nail polish on my toes was going to be.
Oh, so he was looking at feet and nails the whole time.
Flex will tell you, like, there's got to be a signal. Because you could make a mistake, especially if they're doing a good job of covering the girls up. Because sometimes they kind of just, they're not really covering her up. You can see, like, parts of... And then you can tell.
Right.
But in my case, they covered me all the way up.
I was watching the videos and I was like, boy.
All the way.
If you make the wrong move.
You know what I did? He couldn't even see my toes. And I told him that my nail polish, like, I showed him the shoe I was going to wear. He couldn't even see. So I just was doing this. I was laughing hysterically under the blanket. So he just figured it was me.
Oh, my God. Good choice.
I was laughing hysterically because it was funny to me. But yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Let me get here. So what are some? So let's actually switch topics a little bit. So you have your podcast, right? Let's see. When did you start Akanji TV?
April 1st, actually, 2019. I don't have a podcast. I'm hosting a podcast for someone else right now. So, long story. I'm in college. I'm doing my master's degree, and I meet some guy. I know we got a master's in 2020. It's been a second. Oh my God, the time is just phew.
I'm hip.
Anywho's, so I met this guy called Nosa. Shout out to Nosa, and we both started the Culture Class podcast.
Okay.
But life happened, things changed, and so I stopped doing the podcast. But he kind of held the fort down. So that's been his baby for the last 4 years. It's gonna 4 years now. And so recently he came into some business, and he's doing, he's trying to divert his energy to that. And so I was like, hey, I can host the podcast for the interim while you go figure out things. So I was just been like a guest host for the last couple of episodes, but not like, that's not my podcast.
That's the Culture Class, right? But Akanji TV is a little bit different.
Akanji TV is my media. So it's actually Akanji Media. TV is just one piece of it. But TV was the first baby, I guess, if you could call it that, of Akanji Media, which is on YouTube right now. Akanji Media, the purpose is to be a production company for content creation of every kind. So you've got TV, podcasting is going to be part of it, radio, any type of audio content, and then also to be a production house for people. So I'm actually working now to purchase equipment so that we can film, people's businesses, do like little commercials, or just be an avenue for small businesses to create some content for their brand. So that's the goal. And then personally, I want to, in my life, this is what I dream about. I want to be a talk show host. You everything about you says talk show. I want to be a talk show host. That's I love to talk to people. I love to ask questions. So hopefully one day that's going to come to fruition, and that's all going to be under Kanji Media. We're still working. We're still building. It's slow. I won't lie. The motivation we have to find most of the time, but that's what happens when you have a big dream that, almost seems bigger than yourself. You just have to keep pushing. And there's a lot that I can learn from those who are able to stay consistent and, keep moving even when things don't feel like they're going the way that you hope that they would.
How do you continue to stay motivated, especially within this type of industry? Sometimes, to be a content creator, you can, for me personally, I'll speak about myself. Sometimes I just don't have it, sometimes I might have dry spells where, I don't know where I want.
You're talking to the queen of dry spells. Bro, look, let me be honest with you. You're asking me how I stay motivated. Frankly, I don't know. I don't even know that I am motivated, if I'm being completely frank with you. And the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of self-doubt that goes into chasing your dreams. There's a lot of can I even do it? There's a lot of fear. And recently I realized, everybody has fear, even the most talented people. I'm sure Beyonce, shivers before she gets on stage.
Yeah,
and she's accomplished all of these things, right? And what I realized recently was, it's not the fear that we should worry about, it's the inaction. that we should worry about is the not doing. Because if you're waiting for the fear to go away, it's not going to go away. It's going to be there at every step, but you have to train yourself to act in spite of it. So that's not to say like I'm the most motivated person, because I'm just coming out. If you look at my YouTube channel, Akanji TV is where, primarily housed right now on YouTube. The last time I put up a video was like 2 months ago, and before that was 6 months ago, because I'm in that dry spell thing too. Like it takes a while to muster up the courage. But the thing that I'm trying to remember, and I'm teaching myself to remember, is it's not about what you're doing, is the fact that you're doing it.
Right.
So don't wait for everything to be perfect, because that was my thing. Like I started Akanji TV, and anybody who has been a fan of the channel for a long time knows that primarily I was legitimately going up to people and interviewing them about random life things, and that was the content. But then I got into that space, and I expected that by magic wand everything was going to be like so perfect, and I was going to be like the next what's his name, Brandon Stanton, in like a year. It didn't happen.
Right.
So I have to find that again within myself, and I've deviated. When you're trying to figure out who you are and what your purpose is, it can be very easy to get drawn to other things that are not you, which is why, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this when we start talking about music. I have a talent.
Your music talent?
Oh yeah, I do. I'm very aware of it, and anybody who hears me says the same thing. But I realize that as much as that is supposed to be part of my purpose, for some reason I'm not drawn to it right now, which is why I keep hitting these walls when I try to do it. I don't know what that reason is, and I'm sure God will reveal it to me at some point when he's ready for me to do that. But right now, what I'm specifically drawn to is storytelling, in talking to people, interviewing people. So that's where my focus is right now. That's not to say I'm never gonna be a musician or sing the way that people expect me to, because it's crazy. Every time I sing, people are like, why don't you have like 10 albums? I'm like, Auntie, I'm asking myself the same question. Right. But it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and
you do so much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, no, I understand. Like, so just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, like even for me myself, right? I have my dry spells. Like what helps me get into these creative content is just being around people, like coming up with subject matter. Like that's one of the hardest things to do, especially when it comes to podcasting, because you don't want to repeat subject matter. When it comes to music, right? Specifically for you, I've heard your music. I've heard you sing a lot of unreleased music. I've heard your released music, but I know the unreleased music, and I'm a fan of the unreleased music, right, that you have. But the subject matter, I feel like it differs from your actual life. You sing about what I would consider heartbreak, or
I do.
I don't want to say that. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
I don't want to say heartbreak, but it's a lot of the subject matter is related to relationships. It's not necessarily heartbreak, but it's around that. But when I look at you and your relationships, I'm like, this person singing about this is not the same person that just walked into this room with her boyfriend.
True.
Or her husband.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I hear you. I receive what you're saying. I don't know that I'm trying to think back on all the songs that I do have out in the world right now.
So we know I don't
Forever
call it up.
Is one. Forever is a love song, for sure.
Yes.
Want It All that I did with Naya. So I have a personal relationship with Naya. So I keep wanting to call her by her friend name. But so Want It All is more about like just chasing your dreams and wanting like working hard. That's really it. Is there another one?
At one point, no.
There's the lesson one that I did with, and then there's the song with Flex.
You have a song with?
Yes,
you do have a song with Flex. You do have a song with Flex.
It's a love song. So I'm trying to think. Well, okay, but anyway,
the ones with my camp are a little different. I know Lesson. I love Lesson.
Lesson is like a
Lesson is a staple.
Yeah, good song.
The other, I don't want to talk about the unreleased music, but those songs are my favorite.
Okay, so just for some context for the listeners, the unreleased music is what's the name of that song?
You have one with K.
Yes.
That song. Yeah, that needs to come out. I'm telling you right now, I will leak that song if you don't release that song. That song.
I think that song is pretty fabulous, honestly. And we're gonna work on it. But anyway, to to kind of follow up what your question was, I think that as an artist, we feel multiple things. Heartbreak is not always tied to being in a relationship. Your heart can be broken because your dreams are literally staring you in the face and you don't know how to get there. Heartbreak can be, you know, your family is going through things, or people that you love and care about, or the world is broken, right? So I think that, you know, in our lives, especially as artists, what inspires us, what influences us, is life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like what I'm walking through or what others would assume is what I should be walking through. It can be, I could be going through it, just not in the way that you see it, right? And it's okay to tap into those emotions because everybody gets them. And I think also a true staple of a great artist is being able to tell other people's stories too, in a way that makes them see themselves in how you're telling it, right? It doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be your truth, but if you're able to tap into the truth of the world, which is a common truth. I mean, I don't know that we're so far removed from each other that, you know, I could sing a song and you wouldn't feel it. I don't have to be going through a heartbreak to sing about heartbreak and for you to feel the emotions of that.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, because sometimes we're around individuals who, even though you might not be experiencing those things, there's other individuals in the world or in your environment that are experiencing those things. So you're right. Is that, so how often do you write? Is it something that you constantly do? Do you like plan to write once a week, once a month,
I don't have a plan per se, which maybe that's, you know, a problem. I don't know, but I don't have a plan. I think I go too often inspired or motivated or moved by how I'm feeling in the moment. I wrote a song and I made like a little recording of it and I put it on Instagram called Dreaming. That song I wrote and recorded in my husband's studio at home and put on Instagram. I put it on Instagram days later, but I recorded it, the sound, then I did the video. I wrote the song in a morning between like 7 and like 11 a.m. in the morning. And I put all that together because that day I was feeling like it. There's also another song that I'm really, really proud of. I haven't even like put the music for this together as in like the beat or anything, but I'm really proud of that song. And it's called, I'm blanking on my own music now.
See, this is why you need to release an album.
Oh my God.
You know what we're going to do? I'm going to talk to all your producers that you work with. The producers I know that you work with. And I'm going to be like, every Akanji song, this is going to make a compilation. You have until this date before I leak this music. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. He's now threatening me.
Hey.
With my own content.
Hey.
Threatening.
That's a big word.
You're just sending threats, my
Flex, call my lawyer.
We will not get lawyer. My husband is my lawyer. I'll call my own lawyer too. What do you mean? But the song goes, trapped in the seas and dust. Ooh, oh. When joy was no effort, and oh, to be young again. If I could see you, I would gently tell you, I would always love you.
Hey, acapella.
Lean into light and I would always fight and climb out of the hurt for you. Just so you know, just so you know. That's the name of the song. It's Just So You Know. And when I wrote that song, I got up in the morning one day and I was listening to, may her soul rest in perfect peace, Nightbird, the girl from America's Got Talent.
Not hip.
You don't know? Okay. You should check out Nightbird. She passed away a couple of months ago. But I was listening to her song, It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay if you're lost. So, and I was thinking to myself, there's a story there, but that's not my story. What is my story? And I started to think about me being a young girl and the things that I would tell myself now that I know, what I would tell myself as a little girl. And that's what the hook is just remind yourself that you should keep fighting. If you just hold on and know that you're okay, I will fight for you, because I feel like I've done that over the years, but I didn't know that as a child, you know? So it was almost just a reminder of youth, and the lyrics of the song I think are really powerful.
Okay.
And when that comes out, it's going to be cool. But until then, You got this little
Akanji,
acapella.
we have to release music this year. We have to release music this year. Let me ask you a question.
We'll see.
Darn, I lost it as soon as I remembered.
It's okay. Look, I interview people. I know exactly. It's not easy. Like, the funny thing is, like, when people watch this content, I don't know if they feel like, oh, it just comes so naturally. It's not. You gotta listen actively and pay attention to what you had to say at the same time. It's like your brain is doing 5 things at the same time. Bruh. It's crazy.
I was gonna ask. So, what's your favorite part of the music making process? Is it question. The beat production? Is it actually coming up with the lyrics? Is it just the singing?
The second one.
Coming up with the lyrics?
Yes.
Okay.
I listen to music that I relate to. That's why, for me, and people are surprised by this, maybe. I don't know. But a lot of pop music, I'm not hip to all the new music. Because I feel like the new music is saying the same thing over and over.
Do you listen to secular music? Because I know how religious you are.
No, I do listen to secular music. But I'm just not, like, don't ask me the newest Davido song. I don't know. I don't know.
He released a song for World Cup.
See? I didn't even know that. Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, like I said, I don't know. And not because there's anything shady with the music, right? I like to listen to music that I can, like, I listen to the words and the song. That's the kind of music, like, people like Asa or Aisha, I don't know how to say her name. Brimo.
Okay.
I listen to people like that only because I feel like you say something that stays with me. Not to say again that Davido, I love Joe Boy. I don't know his newest song, but I love Joe Boy because I feel like the way he tells a story with his music, even if it's pop music, like, there's something there. So I try to listen to people that I feel like are saying something that is, has some depth and not just like, the surface stuff. But again, no shade to surface stuff. We need surface stuff in our life,
I feel you. What about, like, for you as an individual, do you, I guess, what do I want to ask? There's so much about Akanji. Hey. Yeah. Let me think.
There's so much about me. I wish there was more about me.
What are some goals you have for 2022?
That's a good question. Okay, so I was into vision boarding like 2017. And then 2018, I was like, oh, that's cool. I did it again. And then 2019, I did it again. And then 2020, I was like, screw this. Vision where? And honestly, between then and now, we're in 2022. I don't know. Like, I'm not big on, and this is not because there's something wrong with doing it. I'm not big on, like, having such, like, clear goals. Maybe that's because I don't even know what those goals are. But for 2022 specifically, for me, I just want to get my talk show off the ground. Like, I've been actively right now purchasing equipment. I bought lights that came through yesterday. I was testing all of them. I bought camera equipment. I am ready to stop, like, wasting time and actually get people in my studio apartment to talk to them on a talk. Like, think Oprah. That's me.
I know you're Oprah.
That's what I want. And I've been waiting for the perfect set of circumstances, the perfect location, the perfect set, the perfect this. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, might as well just start buying all this equipment. I don't care if the cameras don't match. One day the cameras will match because there'll be a budget to buy actual cameras for every, set. So every person on the set is going to have their own camera. But until that time, we just have to do something. We have to do something. And I got to a point where I was legit going to bed every night like, what you doing, girl? What, like, No,
that's one thing AK had to share with me. Like, when I first came to Stuck in the Middle, I'm such a perfectionist, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I love for things to be a certain way. And I'm the type of person where I have to think it through. If it does not follow how I expect it to go through, I panic. Mm-hmm. And AK just had to sit me down one day and said, bro, it's not going to be perfect all the time. You can't expect
it's not going to be perfect most of the time.
Yeah. You're not going to get your way. You just got to be accustomed to it and get used to it.
And I've been bitten by that thought. And honestly, my personality, that's not even to say that I'm such a perfectionist per se. I'm really not. Like, of my husband and myself, I'm the more disorganized one. And I have no shame in admitting it.
I'm
right?
shocked.
No, I'm serious. It's the truth. Like, I'm not like one of those people that is so... I move by how I'm inspired to move. And if I'm inspired to move in the moment, the things that I can create are incredible.
It's free thinking.
Exactly. But at the same time, though, if you're going to be an artist, a true artist is not waiting to be motivated, because artists are not always motivated. You're not always like in the zone. It's the times when you're not in the zone that count. That's what qualifies you as a true artist. Not when you're inspired to do all those things. The inspired stuff, yes, is really great. But when you're not inspired and you create something that lives outside of yourself, that it's magical. I can't tell you how many times I have put up like lights and set my camera up and I stood in front of it and I had nothing to say.
Nah, you just got to start talking, and hopefully something will come out of that.
Exactly.
You mentioned having to create vision boards back in 2019. You're also a Scrum Master.
I am a Scrum Master.
Shout out to you. I'm a Scrum Master.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
So, does you being a Scrum Master help influence outlining a vision board? I know you don't do it as much, but does that process help you lay out? No, not
at all. And I have never thought about vision boarding in relation to Scrum Master. Honestly, one of the biggest things that is serving me as a Scrum Master is my ability to talk.
Really?
Yes. Because that's all I do is talk to people. I know how to massage relationships. I know how to tell when people, feel cornered. I can tell because I've interviewed so many people, and I know how, like, part of the job of doing this that you're doing right now is reading energy. And I know how to do that. And I'm very bubbly, and people tell me that I have a lot of energy. And so when you work as a Scrum Master or in IT, you know that it can be dry. It can feel dry. And so I bring the spark, sort of. So it's my ability to talk. Vision boarding, being organized, I'm actually having to learn those things because, and it's helping me in my personal life. Actually, it's the reverse. Like being a Scrum Master is helping me try to plan a little bit more, because you have to be on top of your stuff or you lose your job.
Right. No, that's a big fact. That's one thing for me as well. It's just seeing how that lifestyle correlates with your personal life and what aspects you can take from that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So we have our talk show that we're working on. We're planning to release music by force.
Oh my God. Okay.
By force.
Because Sir Charles said it, I'll do it.
Okay. Are we planning the white wedding this year?
No, not this year. We've got other things going on. But yeah, when the festivities are in progress, you will know.
I need to know.
My real life is gonna be when I say real, I mean like the Instagram reels. We gonna know.
No,
we gonna know when we go for the cake tasting.
I didn't get the tradition. I didn't go to the traditional, but I want to be present at that white wedding.
Duly noted.
I want to spray money. Okay.
Duly noted.
As a Scrum Master.
Scrum Master coins is real coins.
It's real coins, but no, not when you're a cybersecurity analyst. For my producers in the building. That's the real money.
Nice. Nice.
Oh my God.
I know who to call.
I'm just letting you know, those people, a lot of people are in IT now. But
that's the thing. I think it's also beautiful to see people come out of what they're used to. 10 years ago when I came to the United States, everybody was in the healthcare field. If you weren't in the healthcare field, there was something wrong with you. Now it's kind of pivoted to IT, and that's where everybody is. And one could argue that, there's almost a sense of herd mentality, right, that we suffer from. I don't know if it's a suffering, but that, we're prone to kind of wanting to flock to the same things. But I feel like in our generation specifically, we're learning how to do multiple things and be successful at them.
No, it's important for us to be that way.
Yeah.
No, because the reason why I say that is because it allows us the flexibility to pursue our actual dreams.
You want to know something funny?
What's that?
It took me 2 years.
To what?
To decide that I was going to do this Scrum Master thing.
Take it seriously?
2 years.
2 years. It took me, my entire process was a full year. From when I found out about it to when I became a Scrum Master. Like, it was 1 full year.
And it's not because, like, I wasn't... All of it was just me trying to tell myself, like, this is something that I wanted. Because I couldn't just imagine tearing myself away. I was working in TV. I was literally maybe not interviewing, but I was videotaping the mayor of Baltimore City on a weekly basis. We were out at press events. I was in the rooms with like some lawmakers of Baltimore City. I was doing some really cool stuff. I wasn't getting paid for it. The coins was not matching up, but it was fun. It was fulfilling. I had a whole talk show
Do you feel more fulfilled now being in the position that you're in?
No. And the truth of the matter is, the reason why I made the decision to switch was because I was like, okay, you're doing this stuff, but you're doing it under the umbrella of somebody else, and you're not getting paid. Frankly, financial stability is a big thing.
Of course.
You know? And so I was like, okay, if you're going to make this, it's going to give you financial stability, but you have to make up for leaving what you love by doing the thing that you actually want to do. So I don't feel fulfilled in the sense that I'm still building these things. And that's why I want to get the talk show off the ground this year, because I can't have left, 5 minutes with Gabby on Charm TV that I was a host of, that I got to talk to. This is a full production with like actual cameramen and sound and like all of the things, right? That's what I want to do with my life. But I can't leave that behind and then come and do this and not divert any energy at all into that. And so until that starts to yield, I don't feel like I'm going to feel fulfilled. But I am fulfilled in the sense that the reasons that I chose to switch, I am actually working towards that. So, yes and no. Mostly yes.
Are you still writing poetry? I know you have your
I get
poetry
moments.
book.
I get like little spurts. Is that what they call them? Like little moments where I feel inspired. I don't write poetry as much as I would like to, but I'm not worried about that because that's not really like my primary. What's the word I'm looking for? My primary
motivation.
Means of expressing my art. My primary means of expressing my art is through music and through talk. Okay. This is what I want. This is genuinely what I want to do with my life, is talk to people.
I get it. Yeah. Hopefully we'll all get there one day. I've been seeing you quietly do your thing for some time, and of course I wanted to highlight you here on Stuck in the Middle.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I really do. You want to know the truth?
What's up?
When I knew about this a month ago, it's been a second, right, since I've known that we were going to tape this. And I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to say? Because if you look for concrete, because a lot of times, we measure people by the breadth of work that they have, right? And so it's like, if you look for actual work that I've done, at least in my view, it doesn't seem like a lot. There's not enough out there. Like, you could Google Akanji and you find maybe 2 songs. And then, I have a website, like all these things. But I don't know that there's anything that has really broken the mold, if you will. And so when I was like, I'm coming here. What am I going to talk about? I just said a lot of things. I'm actually proud of myself for how much I spoke.
Yeah, I help you do all the talking. I do the research, Sometimes people are surprised by the number of things that we find about them. But that's the beautiful thing. I know you personally. I'm still trying to find the deeper things. But we don't need to.
The depth. Yeah. Honestly, what you see is what you get. I don't get any deeper than
There's
what
no
I say.
There's no sugarcoating, yeah. No, yeah. I know that you're authentic to the core. Core.
There's not much else you will find out. If I didn't want to talk about, let's say, like my marriage and my husband, I would have just been like...
No, girl, you better flaunt that ring. There's people that's out here... Jesus Christ.
I don't want to see my fingernails, so let me hide it.
That bling that I just saw, my guy.
Please.
My guy.
He did well. He
did very well. He landed you. That's well enough.
I'm proud of him. I'm just waiting for the 10th anniversary to, add some more wellness to the well.
Jesus, you guys are
It's like, men can't catch a break. How about this?
I feel pressured.
What? He asked me a couple of weeks after we got engaged. He's like, "But why is it that guys have to buy engagement rings for women, but there's nothing that a guy gets when he gets engaged?"
He gets a wife.
No, when he gets engaged, like, how I'm walking around with my bling bling, like, "Hey, I'm engaged now," but there's nothing for the guy to show off. Because I feel like there are guys who would want to show off something. No.
Nah.
Why?
You are what we are showing off. Not but
I bought him a watch after we got engaged.
Oh, he wears it every day. Did you get it? You have to get it inscribed.
No, I didn't get it inscribed. It's just a watch.
It's just a regular watch, so you can lose that watch and it can mean nothing.
No, it's not gonna not mean anything.
So that's why you get it inscribed.
Nah.
Akanji and
no. It was just an engagement. I just bought him a present because I was so happy with him. I was like, "Oh, baby."
So that means that he's gonna get something better than a watch for the wedding.
He got me.
Yo.
What more can you want?
Do you have any I'm gonna make this my last question. One of my last questions, just to make it fun. Do you have like any honeymoon destinations you want to go to?
Oh my God, yes. Greece, Morocco,
Santorini. Shout out to the.
No, Santorini. I want to actually go to Athens.
Oh.
Santorini is on the bucket list, of course, but Athens. I want to go to Morocco.
Casablanca. That's in Morocco.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, dumb moment. So Morocco is on the list. Kenya is on the list.
Ooh, I like that.
What's the other one? I'm just blanking right now.
Is it like you want to go somewhere where it's you really want to? It sounds like you want to have an experience for your honeymoon, like sightseeing and.
I'm the worst person to vacation with. If you're the kind of person who likes to vacation and like sleep, don't vacation with me. We gotta do things. So I want to go and do things. Mm-hmm. Dubai is also good only because I can write.
Does he have the energy for that? Like, cause he's so laid back.
We're very opposite. Very, very opposite. But yes, he does make the energy because I'm like, baby, this vacation is not for you alone. It's for me and you. But yeah, he's really sweet. And for my birthday this year, we literally did a day out in Baltimore. We did a couple of things because he knew that that's the kinds of things that I like to do. So he literally just took me on a day out when we went to the aquarium. We did a bunch of stuff together. I was exhausted. Because my birthday was on a Monday. I took the day off on that Monday. And when you take a day off, you should be rested when you're coming back to work. I was tired on Tuesday. I was exhausted. But yeah, that's how I vacation. So I want to go to Greece, Kenya, I said another one, Morocco, South Africa. Oh my God. One of my dreams is to sing in a South African choir. I don't know how that's going to happen.
It will happen.
But it's got to happen. It's on my bucket list.
We're going to make it happen. Kanji, our music.
Okay.
I'm gonna leak it.
Don't leak the music, man.
I'm joking. I don't want to.
Okay, so you know what? Now that you're saying that, I do have to honestly, and we've talked about this a couple of times, but I do have to put together a plan to release that song. It's called The Good Life.
Yes, that song needs to be. I feel like it matches what's going on present day.
You know what? You're not wrong.
And it was at the height of. I want to say COVID. It was at the height that you all made that song. I remember what I was going through personally, and
what were you going through
at that time? Not making enough money.
Still trying
to chase a dream that you can't fund from your 9 to 5.
That's tough.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
That's definitely tough.
So that's the beautiful thing. Now we have our talk show. Do you have any? I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a timeline of
when the talk show is gonna come out? Right now we just built the set. I bought equipment and now I have actual lights.
It's a set.
It's a start out set. My apartment is really chic. My husband and we had a lot of fun because it was our first apartment ever.
Together?
No, ever. Yeah, I lived with my parents until I got married. And so does my husband.
Traditional.
Yeah.
They don't make
it was our so we had fun with it. We had a lot of fun. My apartment looks like, it's really cute. And so I have a lot of opportunity to leverage that, how I furnished it, and make a cute set. And of course, we're always adding things. But so we have that. Now it's just a matter of starting to get the guests together. And I bought a GoPro, the niece or the nephew of a GoPro. So it's not really a GoPro, but it works like one. I have some cameras and got a sound system. So we're getting there. Should be by the end of the year. Okay. I don't know what date specifically because we haven't planned out that far, but we should start seeing some,
Hopefully we can collab because, I'm actually trying to collab a lot more this year.
That's good.
Reach out to other creators out there.
Yeah, and the goal is really to make this. This is not a sit down the whole time and talk. I want to make this interactive. The dream is to have an actual audience, right, and have responses. That's the big goal. But for right now, we're gonna start with individuals who are doing anything that is of note, and we will have them do their thing. Okay. While we talk to them.
I know that I'm not going to release some things. I know we have some things behind the scenes that are coming up. I don't want to put no hard dates out there just yet.
You mean for Stuck in the Middle?
Mm-mm.
For me?
For us musically.
Oh, yeah. So there's Good Life. I mean, you can talk about it. I don't have a problem talking about it. But there is the Good Life song is definitely coming out. The one that I sang earlier today, the Just So You Know, that song I think is so powerful, and the melody is so nice. It legit makes me think of Bob Marley's song "Old Pirates, Yes They're a Bye." What's that song called? Won't you help to sing? Redemption Song.
Oh, the old Redemption Song. Yeah.
It gives me like Redemption Song vibes. That's at least when I think about it. That's how I want it to feel when it's produced. But I think the message is really good. So that is also in the works, or at least will be. And then there's a couple of individual things. I can tell you this. I do sing backup for people. Actually, this is a side income stream. So like, I'm not even ashamed to say I have sang backup for some of the most incredible singers. So if you want somebody to do your little hook for you, call me up.
Well, for sure. I just want to make sure that you're going to be at Stuck in the Middle's event. I'm telling you now. Let me actually tell you now the date.
When is it?
So we haven't released all the details.
Okay.
But it's the first Saturday in June, June 4th.
Okay.
More info to come.
Okay.
Just know that you are a guest. Of course, you've been.
As long as it's not Juneteenth weekend.
Oh no, it's the first Saturday in June.
Okay.
So we got to make sure that you're present and available. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be real laid back.
Nice.
A lot of details to come.
I'm so proud of you guys.
No, thank you. This wouldn't be possible if you weren't a guest and a supporter. Not only a guest, but a supporter of the show.
No, this show, honestly, I think we have a lot of, I don't like to say a lot of, we have many content creators doing podcasts and things of this nature. I feel like if we compare, maybe not compare,
there's
but
levels to this. That's the best way to
y'all
say it.
Exactly.
There's levels.
Y'all are one of the first people to actually do this, and like people were like, oh, that's possible. Like that's actually something that people can do and be successful at. So kudos to
thank you. But I have the great Akanji.
Oh my god, Akanji the great.
Akanji the great.
I gotta start thinking of myself as greats more.
You are great. You're awesome. You're fantastic. You're a beautiful soul. You're talented. Multi-talented. Not only just in one area.
It's not our fault. When God was blessing us, He just gave us extra blessing.
It's not like me. I'm only blessed doing one thing. I do this and
do you know what it means, bro? I wish I could tell people. I feel like I need to make a course of like how to interview someone, and then people are gonna be like, "There's a lot happening."
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not easy, but
this is
you
fun.
do well.
I'm trying. I'm not perfect. I'm trying. There's still people that I look up to, like Flex. Like I look at Flex's interviews all the time. Flex don't know this, but I be trying to mimic as much of Flex as possible.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's amazing.
I mean, he did study communication journalism.
I studied communication. I'm definitely not as good as this guy.
No, you can't say that about yourself. Speak life into what you want to do.
I'm good. He's better.
There you go. You know what?
There's a reason why he's the face of Stuck in the Middle. There's a reason.
No, Flex is multi-talented. It's crazy. Flex been intimidating me. I've been looking at Flex like the man got a book. Child.
Yeah.
What we doing?
Oh my goodness, this guy. Anyway, Akanji the Great.
Yes.
Stuck in the Middle.
I'll put it on the t-shirt. Akanji the Great.
Akanji the Great. You got to and sell it at our event.
Facts. You know what? Oh, that's an idea. I could do some things real 10%. Quickly. I'll give you your 10%.
Yo, I'm your host, Sir Charles, aka Capo. I got Akanji the Great in the building with me. Shout out to Flex. Shout out to everybody that's a part of Stuck in the Middle and everyone that's made Stuck in the Middle great over the past 5 years. Like I said, there's a lot more details to come. You all already know the date, June 4th. The first Saturday of June. Make sure you have nothing else to do, because there will be nothing else to do but to come to Stuck in the Middle's event. Okay? Details to come out soon. Hey, make sure you check out all things Stuck in the Middle. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, comment, and make sure you follow. Where can the people follow you? I almost forgot. Where can the people follow you?
So I'm Akanji on Instagram. IAM AKANJI. Facebook, same thing, just search Akanji. YouTube, Akanji TV. Email me at akanjimedia@gmail.com. we can work together. I can make a video for your business, or you can be a guest on the talk show, which will be called, I don't know what the talk show is going to be called yet, but we're working on it. We're going to let the spirit guide us.
Like I said, this is Akanji the Great. You know, if you like what she's talked about today, if you're looking to collab with her, whether it be musically, via a podcast, any form of collaboration, she's open to it. She shared all of her details. Once again, I'm Sir Charles, aka Capo. I'm telling you.
It's Fizzy Bit.